siblings, grandparents. We have so many smiling faces out here in the audience today, and it's wonderful to see such a full house. My name is Miss Kwan, for those of you that don't know me, and I'm the elementary director here. I'm so happy that you've joined us today for the spring program of Mr. Vasquez's third grade class. I'm sure you can tell by their smiling faces that they are so excited and eager to perform for you today. And they should be, because they have a fantastic performance. Under the guidance of their music specialist, Mrs. Fallhaber, they've really developed their voices, and you'll hear that today. I'd like to introduce the music specialist, Mrs. Fallhaber. And all year long, they've really matured. They've grown under the direction of their classroom teacher, who's worked with them on their public speaking skills, their understanding of speeches, understanding of choreography, and putting this all together. So working as a team is our classroom teacher and Mrs. Fallhaber, but Mr. Vasquez. Just a reminder before we get the show started, to put those cell phones on silent if you haven't done so already, so that we can enjoy the show without any interruptions. And so now, without further ado, let's welcome the performers of today's show with a big round of applause.
For this edition of the Third Grade Network News. Our top story comes from Italy, where a little boy and an old man have reportedly been swallowed by a shark. Now, to our reporters in the field. Thanks, Nandini. Geppetto was tragically swallowed by a shark when he went in search of his son. Young Pinocchio claims he was tricked into wandering away from home by a fox and a cat. After being reunited in the belly of a shark, the father and son cleverly built a fire to make the shark sneeze them out. Achoo! We have breaking news. Pinocchio is no longer a puppet. He's a real boy. When asked how this happened, Pinocchio said, "I learned not to let other people pull my strings." Trouble and you don't know right from wrong, give a little whistle, give a little whistle. When you meet temptation and the urge is very strong, give a little whistle, give a little whistle. Not just a little squeak, pucker up and blow. And if your whistle deep, yell, chimney cricket. Take the straight and narrow path, and if you start to slide, give a little whistle, give a little whistle, and always let your conscience be your guide. Our next story comes from Chicago, where a mystery horse known simply as the Black has won the match race. Katie and Yash's Fear report. Dumped on a desert island with a wild stallion, Alec Ramsey tamed the animal, which he recently rode to victory. Sources close to Alex say that his success came from his tenacity, his independence, and his ability to take on the challenge. It Couldn't Be Done by Edgar Albert Guest. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he, with a chuckle, replied that she got home, and she told us an unbelievable story about a yellow brick road, a wizard, and a pair of silver shoes.
But it was her mind, her heart, and her courage that helped her return. There's no place like home, she said. Older Swan achieved his dreams.
Louis was born mute, but he learned to read and write. Eventually he learned to play the trumpet.
It just goes to show that anyone can succeed if he studies and works to overcome obstacles.
grown-ups must do to take care of their families.
But even with such hardship, Texas is a state filled with wild game for the killing and the fertile ground for the planting.
But she decided she would be rich and famous before she died.
Because she used her head to think, her heart to imagine, and her hands to work, her dreams came true.
And we have budding authors, artists, and future computer programmers. And you may have heard from your students about the recent events that they have participated in. Now, the students don't know this, but I have the winners of these contests, and I'm going to share them with you just now. But please do join us for the Merit Assembly, which will happen on June 10th, where we will be announcing the first place winners and handing out certificates for those students. Now, the first contest I want to share with you is our art fair contest, where students get to show off their creativity with a variety of mediums. And this was a grade level contest, so it was a fierce competition. And we have a student who placed second place. And the student who received second place in this class is Sharika Padichetti. Congratulations to our talented artist. And now the students also get to show off their artwork skills in a different way, in a computer programming contest. They get to use their logic skills, their art skills, as well as their math skills, all combined together. In third place this year, we have Allison Ting. In second place this year, we have Drew Biesla. And in first place, we have Karan Gupta. You may see them as future programmers or CEOs in our Silicon Valley in a few years. And finally, we have a contest that I think really brings a lot of skills together. It's our Young Author Contest. The students are very, very excited for this because they get to plan out a story, an adventure, a mystery. In third place, our bronze medalist is the student who wrote about the right idea. We have Omkar Gobelnaya. Our silver medal winner of the Young Author Contest is the student who wrote about the big bully problem, Karan Gupta. And for our gold medalist is a student who wrote an exciting adventure story about a fantastic journey all the way to Mars. Let's give a round of applause for Sakura.